welcome back to another video. It's been a while, but I'm back, and I'm back with a very, very special guest. I'm joined in the studio today by the CEO of Sapphire Group, Mr. Wale Jana.
Thank you so
Good to have you here.
My pleasure.
I think we met some years ago and we've kind of kept in contact.
Yeah.
I always refer to you as the human Shazam for perfume because of the way you're able to know what someone is wearing just by perceiving it.
Yeah.
Welcome once again.
Thank you.
I want to start by asking you, growing up, what were your aspirations? Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
Interestingly, my earliest memories of ambition were to become an aeronautical engineer. Okay. I think I had an uncle that was one, and I liked that he dealt with bigger planes and things. But then I realized that science wasn't my thing. So along the way, I found myself, I like to read a lot and things. And when it was time for me to go to school, to university, my dad said, I think you will do well in mass communication. So that's what I ended up studying.
I see.
Yeah.
You obviously said you studied mass comm, and you gave a bit of background how, your dad kind of advised you to do that. How did you find studying that particular course?
It was interesting, and it's been very helpful because I focused on PR and public relations.
Okay.
So, and interestingly, it has a lot to do with what I'm doing right now. I think I'm always in the public eye. Yeah. So it's all blended into what I'm doing.
So you kind of use the education you've gotten in your day-to-day run of your business nowadays. Like I mentioned at the top, we met actually at a conference held here at the university at Nile. And you kind of gave a story as how you didn't want to go to one bush and do your NYSC and stuff like that. So what was kind of your plan for that particular period?
Okay, so the plan was I was working with a magazine at the moment. More like I co-owned the magazine then. I think the magazine was called Campus Ovation. So the plan was to go to schools, get their social events. If there was a party, we'll cover it. If there's an event, we'll cover it. And then you will bring out all of these things and make them into a magazine that would be in all the universities in Nigeria. So that was my plan at that time. Yeah. But unfortunately, it didn't quite work well.
Yeah. How did you venture into the perfume business?
Interesting. It was 2015. And I was at this very, very funny place in my life where I was working at a job, but the job wasn't enough to get me even a decent accommodation. So I was squatting with my younger brother, with my wife and a baby on a mattress on the floor. And I began to think to myself, what other thing I could do for money? And the idea for perfumes came. Interestingly, I had a friend that coming from Dubai with a bottle of oud fragrance. And I said I liked it, and I felt like, okay, I can start selling these perfumes, but I didn't have the capital to start going to Dubai and bringing in the perfumes. So I just thought to myself, okay, what? If I go to Wuse Market, there could be somewhere I can get a perfume like this. So I went to Wuse Market and I found something close to it. I did my research and I started marketing on my Instagram page. I put out the perfume, do a post about it, and I was selling every day. In 3 months I turned over ₦1 million. Along the way, I noticed that people started copying what we're doing, and as God will have it, I was able to go to Dubai and start bringing the perfumes by myself. Then along the way, we were able to start making our own fragrances. So at the moment, Sapphire has 20 different fragrances.
You mentioned the problem you had with capital. A lot of entrepreneurs face that problem. A lot of young people want to venture into business, but capital is always a problem. What's your advice to those kind of people? What would you, for example, now if someone walked up to you and be like, okay, I want to start a business, but I don't have a capital, how do I go about it?
I'll tell them, start with what you have, where you are. You get? I strongly tell people, don't borrow money to go into business because you get into trouble. In our bid for expansion and things, we borrowed some money. We are still dealing with it to date. So don't borrow money to go into business. Start with what you have, where you are. Be patient and watch it grow, because as long as debt is not involved, it will definitely grow if you are good at what you do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every business has its challenges, you know, starting out. What were some of the initial challenges you faced when you started?
First of all, we had to deal with a lot of packaging challenges. You know, the first set of bottles we had, I remember vividly, the cover wasn't good. So you had to keep the perfume standing always. If you turned it to the side, it was going to pour out. So you had to keep it standing. You know, so a lot of challenge in terms of packaging, in terms of acceptance. But eventually we were able to get there. You know, I saw a video today that really gladdened my heart. You know, one of my clients had a set of perfumes on our table. There was Tom Ford, there was Creed Aventus, there was what's his name, Kajan, you know, Rouge Kajan. There were just a lot of all the top perfumes in the world, and Sapphire was right in the middle, and didn't feel inferior. You know, if they didn't tell you that this was made in Abuja, Nigeria, you would never know. You would think it was some French guy in France that made it. You know, so that was really encouraging.
Talk about the name. How did you come up with the name Sapphire?
Okay, Sapphire is from the Bible. It says, "I will lay a foundation with sapphires." So you know, it's a kind of special stone. That's where the name came from.
I see. And I mean, I've seen a couple of celebrities, you know, who you work with. One, I mean, Tonto Dike. How did that collaboration come about?
Yeah, it started in 2018. It started from a photo shoot, and then in time she became a full-fledged ambassador.
I see. You talked about, you know, borrowing money to start business, having, you know, as capital, and you said, you know, along the line you may run into some challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read, you know, some challenges that you yourself have run into in terms of financial problems. How did you come out on the other side of that?
Well, we're still dealing with it, but one of the things that's worked for us is we've built a very, very solid business, you know, because during the pandemic, I was shocked for the first time ever. Nobody was buying perfumes. People were not buying perfumes. All the stores were locked. I would look at the account and be like, wow, I never believed this could happen. But guess what? It happened, you know. But just stay true to your art. You know, your clients will keep coming back because what you offer them, they can't find it anywhere else. You know, so they'll keep coming back to you and to the people you owe as much as possible. It will always be challenging. You'll never be right, especially when you're owing money. But as much as possible, stay upfront. You know, the little updates that you can give them, keep communicating with them, share what is going on with people. Be very upfront about the whole thing. They're going to bash you for a while, but it will keep you alive. People know for a fact that, okay, these people, they have a challenge. They're not hiding. They're not running. They're dealing with it. You know, so it's just
and I think that was very interesting. I think because I mean, I was like, okay, I was watching, I was thinking like, okay, what's Wale going to do? And I saw that you were very open and upfront about it. You talked about it on Twitter and everything, and I was kind of impressed by that actually. Let's talk about the business a little bit more. You allow for people to, I don't want to say invest, kind of purchase your products and sell on them. Can you just explain to me how
there's a distributorship model we have where people buy. So you can become a distributor for 50,000 and get products worth 70 or 80,000 naira. You get, so you get the products at the wholesale price and sell for a profit. You know, so that's been the model that we've been operating. You know.
And how successful is that?
It's been quite successful. We have a distributorship chain of around 2,000 people, and then last year we started doing the major distributorship franchise. So it means that you can become a major distributor and register distributors under you, rather than just selling small scale. You know, you can begin to register people that can begin to sell the products for you. You know, or you can even get a store and stock the products there.
I saw you wrote a book. What was the motivation for that?
Right. So Scars is a book about my mistakes and lessons in business. You know, and I felt like I can't trust any general without scars. You know, if you say you're a military man, you get, and you don't have any scars on your body, that's suspect. It means you've never been to war. You know, so when I say businessman and all he has to tell me are the good stories, so we started like this and in 2 years we are now a billionaire company, and there are no mistakes and lessons. The times because none of us will ever get it right all the time. There will be times where we'll make mistakes, where we'll
where we flop.
Yeah.
You know, those are the stories that in the world of today, you notice that all the billionaires, you are talking of the $10, your Nakijas, Dangotes, none of them have a book. You know, we just have an idea of what they dealt with, and they have dealt with a lot.
Yeah.
But because they are not telling, we don't know. So the average African business entrepreneur is naive. You go into business looking at these big guys there, they don't tell you how crazy and mucky it is. You don't even have an idea of what it took for them to get to where they are. You know, so in my own little way, I'm trying to tell people my experience, so people can see for a fact that business in Africa is not a joke, it's serious.
Yeah. So how was the process like? How did you start? Did someone ask you, or did you just wake up one morning? And then the process of writing it, how did you come about it?
Okay, writing is therapy.
Do you also write in chapters, or how was the whole process?
Right, writing is therapy for me. You know, I write every day. I mean, I've written every day probably for the last 10 years on my Instagram, Facebook pages. You know, so when we began to face these challenges in 2020, you know, I said, you know what, I need to start documenting. So every Friday I write a chapter, and I wrote that for the last 2 years. You know, interestingly, the book is out now.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon, it's on sellers and Okada books.
I am looking forward to getting it.
Interesting.
I mean, you also ventured into the jewelry business. You make watches, I think. Why did you feel the need to transition into that?
Well, okay, for me, I converted everything that I loved doing into a business. I love wristwatches, I love jewelry, I love eyewear, and I felt like there were just too many people that were buying replicas. You get, for instance, a Louis Vuitton eyewear will probably cost you maybe around $7,000 to $10,000. You know, many people cannot afford that. They'll go and buy the fake. You know, so let's create an original that is affordable, something you can buy under 50K. That's affordable and genuine and very stylish.
Yeah.
That was the inspiration for all those other lines of products.
Do you also feel like we need to, I mean, we as Nigerians, we need to kind of like start buying or like wearing what we make, you know, to kind of also create jobs for people? Absolutely.
But you see, the major challenge has been in this part of the world is people make substandard products and expect you to understand that it's made in Nigeria now. I support Nigeria, but Nigerians are very stylish, classy people. They won't just wear anything. If you want, you see, the patronage is automatic if it is authentic and if the price is right. You know, if you do it properly, you won't be struggling with Nigerians are not buying made in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that are flaunting our things on a daily basis because it's good to wear. You know.
Yeah. Because of time, let's try and wrap it up. For anyone, you know, watching this, you know, aspiring to be like you or going into a similar business, you know, like what advice do you give them overall?
I like to tell people all the time that be sold out on your dream. When you're sold out on your dream, you can sell anyone on it. You know, if you are convinced about what you are doing, it won't be hard for you to convince anybody.
Yeah.
So think about what you are doing. Are you convinced? Are you sold out on your dream? It will be easy for you to sell out or convince anyone.
Yeah. So what does the future hold? I mean, what else do you want to venture into?
Well, we just early this year we moved into real estate. You know, so we have sites at Lugbe, Kubwa, Ekpe, and Idu in Abuja here. You know, Ekpe in Lagos, Lugbe, Kubwa, Idu in Abuja. Okay. You know, so we're into real estate now.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, all the best with all the ventures, and thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon again.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Alright guys, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share as well, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.